Okay, so I'm going to give you an exercise that I love to use with my clients, and I find it's really useful for three things. It boosts your confidence, it helps you come up with a ton of content real fast for your coaching program, and it helps you to come up with a ton of content for your marketing. It's like three birds with one stone right there. So here's the exercise that I used to really boost my own confidence. So step one is to think of one of the outcomes that you help people get. Maybe it's meeting their soulmate. I'll use that in the illustration. You help single guys to meet and marry the woman of their dreams. So write out a broad list of the steps that your clients would take, preferably in the order in which they take them. Now, I know some people don't necessarily have a chronological order that everyone follows in that order, in which case just lay out the buffet list. It's a buffet of teaching points that they can draw from at this stage of their journey where they need it. So in this case, the steps might be figure out what kind of woman you want to marry, figure out where these women hang out, figure out how to approach her in a way that's welcome and friendly and inviting instead of creepy and pushy and threatening. How to get that first date, how to conduct yourself on the first date so you're likely to get a second date, and how to figure out if you even want a second date. That's an example of the steps you could list out. Now, step two for you is to take one of those steps and break it down into the sub-steps. So step one in this, you're figuring out what kind of woman the guy wants to marry. So some of the steps for this might be, look at the experiences that you want to have with her. What kind of woman would you be able to have these experiences with? Maybe hiking, watching movies together, Netflix and chilling. Whatever the experiences are, what kind of woman would want to have these experiences with you? What kinds of experiences have you enjoyed with people in the past? What kind of experiences do you want to avoid? And what traits would indicate that someone is going to give you these experiences? So that's an example of the sub-steps you could break one of these steps into. Now, if any of these steps isn't completely self-explanatory all by itself, you need to break it down further. Like I was saying earlier, people tell people what to do, like notice what stories you're telling yourself, but not how to do them. So you need to break it down into such granular detail that an alien who's never even heard of your field of expertise before would be able to execute this process. You really step by step the exact actions they should take. I also recommend including, step 3 is to include exercises that they can do, really step-by-step exercises. They should know exactly what actions to take, especially when it comes to the mindset stuff. Make sure that you explain the principles behind it, because when people understand the principles behind it, then they're able to customize it to their unique situation and to do it more authentically, but without losing the effectiveness behind it. And I suggest including examples like I have been throughout this interview to help people really visualize it. So once you've done these 3 steps, I think you'll find you have and do it with all the steps in your process, you will find you have an incredible amount of detail. You'll really realize, holy crap, I know so much about this in such breadth and such depth that all these details that I'd forgotten I even knew. Just by following this process, you can draw out all those details that were hiding in the back of your head, forgotten, and remind yourself just how much you actually know. And of course, now you have a crap ton of content right there.